Number 10. Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie was the Harley Quinn to Leto's Mr. J back in the Suicide Squad days, but they most definitely were not as close off screen as they were on screen. A lot of people believe that he took his role as the Joker way too far. Being the first Joker since Heath Ledger, he had massive shoes to fill, and that may have gotten to his head a little bit. I don't know. Although he is known as a method actor, wherein he extends a personification of his character beyond the screen and into real life, he ended up doing some pretty harmful stuff to his co-star Margot Robbie. In fact, he sent the actor a live rat to her on set, apparently in an effort to better personify the Joker. There's absolutely no way she was happy about that, given she's an extremely professional actor and also who likes getting gifted a rat. Number 9. Will Smith. Will Smith is another Suicide Squad co-star who got caught in the craziness of the Jared Leto Joker personification. In fact, he may have gotten it worse, because he was gifted, along with a few others, a dead pig. You heard me right, Will Smith, the A-list actor, got gifted a dead pig. I guess he was trying to make people feel unsettled and uncomfortable with him as a person in hopes that it would translate to how they interacted with the Joker while on screen, but all it did was backfire on Jared Leto. Although he was featured very heavily in the trailer for the movie due to his insane antics, his screen time was cut all the way down to 10 minutes and he was barely featured at all when the movie finally came out. Will Smith also gave comment to Margot receiving her gift of the rat. When he first met Jared, he said, quote, "This dude walks in and says, 'I got a message from Mr. J,' and he puts a box down in front of Margot, being like, 'This is a gift from Mr. J in honor of your relationship.' Margot starts to open the box and there's a note from the Joker. And I was like, that's cool, that's funny. Jared is like taking it real serious. And Margot opened the box and there was a live rat in the box. I was playing Deadshot, but if I had pearls on, I would have clutched them." He even showed his own personal distaste for the character with, quote, "We all shared some really deep stories about ourselves and our pains and our triumphs. And then on set, you thought he was being a nice guy and you were trying to share your life, and then in the middle of a scene he throws your childhood trauma back at you and says, 'Dude, the Joker did it.'" Number 8. Robert Pattinson. Although he didn't name Jared Leto specifically, it is pretty obvious who Robert Pattinson was shading during an interview, and that was none other than Jared Leto. While discussing how he got into the headspace to film The Lighthouse, a psychological thriller, he said he would be exhausted leaving the set. This was all during the time of people criticizing Jared Leto, so it seemed really pointed when Pattinson said, quote, "I always say about people who do method acting, you only ever see people do the method when they're playing assholes. You never see someone being lovely to everyone while they're really deep in character."
Number 7. Lindsay Lohan. Actress and on-again, off-again ex-girlfriend of Jared Leto, Lindsay Lohan obviously knows the guy pretty well considering all the time they spent together, especially when they co-starred in the movie Chapter 27, where Jared Leto played John Lennon's killer. Back in 2016, Lohan threw shade at Leto in regards to his portrayal of the Joker in Suicide Squad. On Instagram, she posted a collage of actors who had portrayed the character, including Leto, Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, and notably Brandon Lee in the movie The Crow. In the caption, she said, "Who wore it better? Who based his whole music and film career on the film The Crow?" accusing Leto of having ripped off the portrayal of the character from Brandon Lee's. Lohan also added, "Every man's got a devil and you can't rest until you find him. A Suicide Squad movie is not helping the world but hurting people. Anger is not an answer for peace." So yeah, it doesn't seem like the two are still friends after their last split.
Number 6. Cara Delevingne. Cara Delevingne is another Jared Leto victim from her time on Suicide Squad. Playing the baddie of the movie Enchantress, she almost did a better job of playing a villain than he did. But Jared's weirdo method acting behavior waits for no man, and so as a wrap party gift, he gave Cara used condoms and toys meant for, you know, intimacy. She did not take too kindly to the gifts, obviously, especially because Cara had a rumored fling with Jared 4 years prior to the release of their movie together.
Number 5. David Harbour. Like Lindsay Lohan, David Harbour was another celeb to throw some subtle shade at Leto's portrayal of the Joker. Back in 2018, David Harbour was getting ready to take on the role of Hellboy for the reboot of the series. When talking about the role, he started discussing how he hoped people would be on board for the reboot and that people would like his portrayal of the character. Harbour said, "I can like Michael Keaton's Batman and I can like Christian Bale's Batman. I can like Jack Nicholson's Joker and I can like Heath Ledger's Joker. There's other Jokers I don't have to like." The Joker he doesn't have to like obviously being in reference to Jared Leto's Suicide Squad character. It seems like most people who saw the movie, and even those that didn't, agreed with the Stranger Things actor's opinion. While it's fun for the viewing public to pick on a celebrity's performance, it's always amusing to see high-profile celebrities celebrities engaging in playground drama.
Number 4, Viola Davis. Although Jared Leto makes tons of people uncomfortable on the set of The Joker, none were as outspoken about how upset it made them like Viola Davis was. In an interview with Entertainment News, Viola said that she was less than pleased with the box of bullets that Leto sent her while on set for the comic book adaptation. Quote, "It was a little worrisome. It made you a little nervous, and I'm pretty tough. You know, I got into a few fights when I was growing up, but it scared me a little bit." She then said that she only ever really met Jared after filming ended because he was in character the entire time they were on set. Quote, "Before that, I was only introduced to the Joker, and I almost had my pepper spray out. You know, you remember the bullets you sent me? He gave very interesting gifts. I did not receive any personally, or else I would have got my husband, who was called Headache Ball back in the day when he played football, and I would have said, take care of the Joker." I almost wish he did send her a gift now just to see how that drama would unfold.
Number 3, Todd Phillips. When director Todd Phillips recreated the character again in his dark 2019 film Joker, Jared Leto got a little bit angry. There was more beef than a cow farm. Apparently, when Suicide Squad came out, Leto had been promised his own solo Joker movie, though things obviously changed over the course of production and following the film, as Leto's time in Suicide Squad was severely cut down from the original plan, leaving him with only around 10 minutes of screen time in the film. He had been planning to be a main character and seemed to push himself a bit too far. A source saying, in his defense, it was never really his movie, but his attempt to invent a place for himself in it backfired. When he heard about the new movie not featuring him, he had complained to his agents, and even requested that his music manager call the company and get the film called off. Phillips obviously made the right decision in choosing to move forward with a different actor for the character, as his movie performed well and got mostly completely positive reviews.
Number 2, Dylan Sprouse. Dylan Sprouse, the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody star, very publicly came for Jared Leto's throat back in 2018 when he tweeted out, quote, "Yo, Jared Leto, now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is?" Jared has a history of liking women who are much younger than him, and Dylan is coming for his throat. Maybe someone close to him got a particularly creepy DM, but either way, he was not having any of his nonsense. The tweet garnered almost 50,000 likes. Although Jared Leto nor his team have made any attempt to reply or even give any mention to the tweet, a lot of users did seem to suggest that there was an open secret about Jared Leto only liking barely legal girls. And lastly, James Gunn, the director of Suicide Squad. In a now deleted tweet that was a reply to Dylan Sprouse's shade posted after he had filmed Suicide Squad, James very not so subtly hinted at some very serious allegations. In response to Dylan's tweet, James Gunn said, quote, "He starts at 18 on the internet." James Gunn insinuating that Jared Leto tries hooking up with underage fans is extremely off base, and comes as no surprise to those who follow the actor after he was accused of being inappropriate with multiple teenage fans.
Number 10, Scott Eastwood. We've heard complaints from many of Jared Leto's past co-stars, mostly about how he tends to take his method acting to the extremes, from presenting them with a dead pig to sending them inappropriate items in the mail. It's all a bit bizarre and uncomfortable. Co-star Scott Eastwood had something to say about the actor as well, him playing GQ Edwards alongside Leto in the movie Suicide Squad. Scott said that during filming he was afraid to approach Leto, saying that while he knew the actor, he definitely didn't recognize him in his portrayal of the Joker, also saying that he was worried about affecting Jared's performance and getting in the way of the thing he had going on. While for many actors, method acting can be a good way to get into character and prepare yourself for the role, it may be too much if doing so puts everyone else on edge and makes them scared to even get near you. Number 9, Daniel Espinosa. Daniel Espinosa was the director of smash hit movie of the century Morbius, and it seems like Leto's strange behavior and overdone method acting on set was not exclusive to his role as the Joker, as Espinosa says it was present on his set as well. He was apparently always in character, the director saying, "I almost never saw him getting into the role. It was more that Michael Morbius was on set. The moment he would exit his trailer, it would no longer be Jared Leto, and he would not want to be spoken to as Jared Leto." Espinosa does at least credit how this can be a very effective practice for many actors, and it did appear to work out for Leto. Obviously, we know his acting came out incredible, as Morbius sold 1 more billion tickets at the box office on opening weekend. Espinosa also went on to say that Jared Leto got so committed that he became scared for him, and that it was apparently very intense. He would also apparently walk around on crutches almost all the time, which frustrated everyone on set as it caused major delays in the filming day. Number 8. Denis Villeneuve. Let's hear from another director that has worked with the actor, this time from Denis Villeneuve, director of the film Blade Runner 2049. He spoke about how the actor once again committed himself to his role by wearing contact lenses that made him almost completely blind, as the character Leto was set to portray is also blind. Villeneuve said, "We all heard stories about Jared, how he transforms into the characters, but even this didn't prepare me for what was to come. He entered the room and he could not see at all. He was walking with an assistant very slowly. It was like seeing Jesus walking into a temple." Similar to Leto walking around on crutches on set for Morbius, his constant, almost permanently blind state around set frustrated people as well, as he would always have to walk with an assistant and move very slowly. It made filming very difficult and slowed down the production process. But hey, anything for the role, I guess.
Number 7. Taylor Swift. There's no way that Taylor Swift's army took kindly to Jared Leto dissing their beloved singer. TMZ released a video of the Oscar winner critiquing the young singer's music. In the clip, Leto and his 30 Seconds to Mars bandmates listened to tracks from Taylor's album 1989. After playing some of her songs, the actor quickly became disenchanted by her and really aggressive. He exclaims, quote, "F her, I don't give a f about her." Although Taylor Swift never commented on the anger directed at her, her fans sure did. Jared immediately got pummeled online, and in an extremely rare response to criticism, Jared tweeted out, quote, "The truth is, I think Taylor Swift is amazing and an incredible example of what's possible. If I hurt her or her fans, my sincerest apologies." I don't know, man, or you can just not be mean for no reason.
Number 6. Vicky Marie Taylor. Now let's move on to what adult actress Vicky Marie Taylor had to say about the guy that she met at a party. She said that way back in 2002, she and 3 other female dancers had been invited to a post-concert party, Jared Leto being in a relationship with Cameron Diaz at the time. The girls were dancing and she had even given Leto a dance when he requested that she move over to his brother. When she did, Leto apparently came up behind her and grabbed her by the throat aggressively, whispering a statement into her ear. She said that it was an uncomfortable and weird situation, and they were only there for about 10 more minutes before they were requested to leave as they had to get back on the road for their next gig. This isn't the first time that it's been reported that Leto has gotten a bit creepy, unsettling, and aggressive during a meeting.
Number 5. Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix was another actor to step into the role of the Joker in a later standalone movie. He was one of the best to do it in my opinion, although I don't think anyone can top Heath Ledger. But Joaquin apparently almost got stripped of the movie role because of Jared Leto. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Jared was under the impression that his initial stunt as the Joker would lead to many more movie roles, and there were talks about Jared being the Joker in the movie Joaquin would end up starring in. But likely due to making everyone uncomfortable and unsafe, none of those roles came to fruition. When he got wind that Joaquin Phoenix would be taking on the role to tell the supervillain's origin story, Jared reportedly felt, quote, alienated and upset. In response to the news, Jared actually attempted to stop the new production from happening. The outlet claims that he complained about the movie to both his agents and CAA, and even tried to contact Warner Bros. Partner company to get the movie pulled, obviously to no success. Considering it seems Jared has burned most of his bridges with anyone involved in the DC universe, don't expect him to return as the Joker in any capacity anytime soon, though you'll be able to watch Joaquin probably reprise his role in a sequel.
Number 4. David Ayer. As had already been mentioned, Jared Leto's actions on the movie Suicide Squad were a bit unsettling, mostly due to the actor's penchant for method acting and completely losing himself in a character. While a lot of his co-stars commented on what it was like being on set with Leto, and even what it was like being at home and receiving disturbing things in the mail from him, director David Ayer also had something to say. We've heard from a few different directors from some of Leto's other films, so here's what Ayer said. He constantly has to give birth to himself. He goes away, he comes back. He shoots, he goes away. The Joker is something you have to be, and you can see how exhausting and painful it is for him to be this character. But you can feel it when he comes to work. The crew feels it, everyone feels it. It's like the birds stop flying. He's f***ing terrifying. Yep, so looks like Will Smith was correct in saying that it felt like Leto went full Joker.
Number 3. Cameron Diaz. Not many women have had long-lasting relationships with Jared Leto, except for one woman, Cameron Diaz. They were initially linked back in 1999, and a lot of people suspected that Jared was a rebound for Cameron, who just broke up with her previous boyfriend of a year. Despite maintaining a low-profile relationship, news circulated in 2000 that the couple were engaged. Cameron was spotted with a $15,000 ring at the 2003 Golden Globe Awards. That being said, Cameron was always very hesitant to talk about her relationship with Jared, saying that she didn't want to jinx it. But I guess no need, because the two broke up in 2003. Although she never commented on the relationship directly, she did make hints to Jared being awful to her. Quote, "My rule is that there are no tricks in this game. I believe in honesty and communication and in treating people the way you want to be treated. Love should be unconditional." And for his part too, Jared had admitted that he, quote, "wasn't very nice to her." Whatever that means.
Number 2. Joel Kinnaman. Get out your sunglasses because we're throwing shade over here once again. And of course, if you hadn't guessed by now, it's about Leto's Joker. Actor Joel Kinnaman was doing a press tour for his upcoming show while also working on scenes for the past movie's soft reboot, The Suicide Squad. He was asked his thoughts on Joker and Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of the character, and he took the opportunity to stir up some drama and throw some shade towards Leto. The interviewer asked if Kinnaman felt like he was cheating on Leto, and he responded with, "No." Who? Joel, of course, having co-starred in Suicide Squad with Leto and obviously knowing who he is, but sounds like he's pretending he doesn't and maybe does not want to be associated with the actor. He then went on to highly praise Phoenix's take on the Clown Prince of Crime. Number 1. Jared Leto. Sometimes the easiest way to know someone's character is from that person themselves. Finding out the truth about Jared Leto and how he seems to be a bit of an out-there personality didn't really take any deep digging, and much of it has come from his own mouth. So let's go through a few of the most bizarre things Jared Leto has done that should have given us a sign about who he really is. At a concert in Brazil, he flipped off a fan who didn't know the correct lyrics to his songs. He has told both a fan and a sound technician to F off, said that playing the Joker was extremely difficult and was like giving birth out of his prick hole, said he lies whenever possible during interviews, he was rude to his henchman co-stars on Suicide Squad, requesting them to do ridiculous tasks for him, and he once walked out of an interview after yelling expletives at the reporter. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg. You can find plenty more if you want to look it up for yourself.